Yo, what's up guys, Vizeh here and welcome to another video on my channel, and today let's get into some more FIFA 20 news and information. Now, if you're unaware about right now, there should be some brand new Pro Clubs and Career Mode information released in the next couple of days by EA. This announcement should see us have some brand new features into Career Mode and Pro Clubs. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing about what we should see in Career Mode and Pro Clubs, including the gameplay as well. There's a lot said about the gameplay and really broken down of what we should really see. Is it going to be better, more slower, more faster? Let's find out. And finally, some brand new licensing in PES, which will completely change the dynamic of FIFA 20. Now in the background, you'll be watching Juventus versus Barcelona in a Champions League final. Now, it does say it's FIFA 20, you know, in work in progress. It's not, it's just a mod on PC, so don't get too worked up by that. But the kits you see is all updated, or is it? Because funnily enough, Juventus is now an official license of PES 2020, which is an issue because apparently, according to licensing, EA cannot have Juventus name or stadium or kits in the game. So if you remember back in FIFA 13 for Napoli, there were no licensing in that game for Napoli, so they literally had the same players and the same names of the players and the same like photos and face scans. However, but it could not have a Napoli badge, so it was like a random like blue logo instead. And of course means that kits will be pretty generic, and also stadium will be also quite generic. I don't know exactly how long this does last, but it's at least for the entirety of this 1 year. So that means that no Juventus kit in FIFA 20. So this gameplay you see right now is one of a kind, as this would not be seen in FIFA 20 with this kit, which is a good and a bad thing, because it means that EA now know that PES can actually have some firepower to them when it comes to licensing. Of course, PES still falls behind for many leagues and for many clubs, but this is a good kind of sign to see that maybe PES can put some pressure onto EA to maybe try and put some more effort into the game in certain areas. Hence why I'm looking forward to the announcement about Career Mode and Ultimate Team. So that's why it's a good and a bad thing, because it's a good thing because it may actually make EA want to work harder, but it's probably bad because, well, I mean, there's no Juventus there for Ronaldo's at Juventus, so if you're a Ronaldo fan, sorry, but you can't use the Juve kit. Now you may say that, well, Man United is also a license of PES, so how come that is different? Well, because EA have got the full licensing for the Premier League, so if you haven't noticed that there's no Serie A licensing in FIFA. For example, for La Liga there's full licensing, as it has Ultra overlays and pretty much every stadium in that one league, but for Serie A it's a generic overlay and it's very generic all around. So of course it means that it's not fully licensed, and I don't think it will be. Therefore Juventus, there's no stadium, but of course for Premier League it's fully licensed in FIFA, so United will still have the same stadium and kits as expected. Now next up is going to be some gameplay information. So Sport Bible did an article where they played FIFA 20 early and did a full list about everything that's new to the game in terms of gameplay and how it runs. So number one, it is slower game pace to cater to more build-up, which for me is good for Career Mode, but for me bad for Ultimate Team. I do hope that this is only a thing for Career Mode, because again, I've always stated, if it's Career Mode, please feel free, make it as realistic as you want. Make it so that it's 90 minutes per half. I don't mind that. Make it as realistic as your heart's desire. However, if it's Ultimate Team, if it's more slower, if the touches is more inconsistent, and as they stated, it's a lot less hectic. And as quoted by Sport Bible, they say, immediately from your very first kickoff, it's evident to see that FIFA 20 does feel different from FIFA 19, and a big part of that is the game being less hectic. This year, there's a slower pace, new football intelligence, and more of a focus on building up play as opposed to defense transitioning into attack to next to no time. Not only does that help bring about authenticity and a more composed experience, it also favors those who are all about creating time and space with possession-based football. This to me sounds like it's going to be a lot more, you know, slow and for me inconsistent with passing and dribbling, because as I've seen from some clips already, touches feels a bit heavy, and I guess as a fun game, it's not really that. I'm not looking forward to it, not gonna lie. Let me know your thoughts down below in comment about this. Maybe you may enjoy it, maybe you play a more possession based football, so this is exciting for you. For me, I can see it kind of deterring more people away than bringing them in. Number two, they also say defending, that the presence of the AI is different in this game compared to FIFA 19. EA are reducing the amount of AI defensive support and instead concentrating on the user's defending, which is great because that means that, as we have seen in FIFA 19, basically all you have to do sometimes is just control your CDMs, like a Vieira, like a Fabinho, like a Kante, like a Pogba, and just defend with them and leave your back four, and they can be completely fine with it. Sometimes I'm in games and I'm smashing a player like 5-0. They put down the controller, and I find it harder to score goals when they're not defending than when they are defending, which blows my mind when you say it like that. Dribbling has also been impacted a lot. Something called strafe dribbling has been brand new to the game apparently. It's a new system which takes more importance in little touches, and as it says, stutter steps, which is funny for me to say because, well, I mean, have you heard me? FIFA producer Vizeh says it's a combination of dribbling, sprint speed, and acceleration. To me, this sounds like it's just like you're just holding the LT like on and off a bit, so you use that burst of pace to get past the defender, which I guess kind of makes sense because let's say if you're using a Neymar or a Jadon Sancho, their acceleration should beat really any defender in this game. If you can actually like dribble past people this game, because sometimes in this FIFA, especially at the start when most players has not got the dribbling ability as, you know, most players now with team of season stats and that, it was almost impossible to actually dribble past someone because pace wasn't that effective, so you can't just run past them, and dribbling, their touches just couldn't cope with it either. And of course there's ball physics, which is a brand new thing, which I guess is, I don't know if it's a gimmick or not, I guess we'll find out, but ball physics is a new thing now, so we're hey. So all around gameplay to me feels like it's gonna be a lot more realistic, which kind of brings me on to my next point, which is now about career mode. Now, there is a post going around with this. Matt Pryor, a FIFA 19 producer, in an interview about career mode, has said this allegedly. Career mode does not reach enough audience from EA's point of view to allocate resources and therefore does not come up with our priorities agenda. Now, for me, right, this is just a bit stupid because I doubt that the journey had so much towards it. I doubt that many people really was so excited for the journey. I guarantee people play career mode a lot more than the journey, and if they say that they do, then I think they're downright lying. In the journey they put so much effort into it that it's actually quite sad compared to career mode. So of the journey now being ended, I would hope that the same team that was on the journey would now be into career mode now, but it sounds like that's not the case. And also keep this in mind, only 13% of people that own FIFA 19 as qualified for Weekend League. So if the audience for career mode does not reach enough people compared to Ultimate Team, then what is the other 87% doing? I mean, of course, that percentage can also mean career mode players. So I must ask the question, how many people play career mode? 5%? 4%? 2%? I mean, what does the other 87% do? Of course, some people may literally only play kickoff with mates and that's it, but surely not, it can't be all 87%. Let's say in other countries, people that may be lucky enough to get FIFA 19, because trust me, some people still have Xbox 360 games playing that now still. People have the game but yet don't even have online, so they can't even play FUT Champions. So if they're not playing Ultimate Team, then they must be playing career mode, otherwise what else is there to do other than kickoff? This makes no sense in my eyes, and I think that it's a bit of a lie, because I can't imagine that 30% has qualified for Weekend League, but then the other 87 has not touched career mode. I can't see it. And there was a post on EA's forums by a guy which has been trusted before in the past saying this: "Hi guys, I have some news for you. I met a friend of a friend, he works for EA." Now of course just saying this isn't 100% certain, but let's take his word for it. Ask him about Starhead, but he didn't give me much apart from saying La Liga has been rescanned and Bundesliga has been scanned, and he told me that there will be a different amount of custom around Europe. Asked him about career mode, is it going to be a wow factor, and he said there will be some changes but not major. 100% works for EA, but how much he has told me that's truth, I don't know. He looked surprised why I'm so keen on career mode. I said no matter how old you are, it's about passion to play a game who looks real to the real football, as they are advertising anyway. But to be honest, EA is full of employees that don't care about those details. Now I'm not gonna lie, this scares me, because if you're not aware, I am obviously not an EA game changer. I've got no interest of being an EA game changer, but this time last year, a bunch of EA game changers, i.e. career mode and Ultimate Team and Pro Clubs YouTubers and streamers, went out to Berlin to go and work with EA towards the next FIFA game, which was of course FIFA 20. They've had a full year to implement what the game changes has told them, and from what I'm hearing, it seems like they're not going to be doing it because it makes them no money. Now, This really does annoy me because I feel like career mode could be so much more better. Like, let me right now just state some things that is missing from FIFA 19, which makes no sense, which is missing from career mode, right? Staff is a very important thing of footballers and football teams, and I don't get why staff isn't a thing. Training facilities, you can't improve that at all, there's nothing to do with it. Sponsors ain't a thing, even though that's a massive plus of finances for a football team. No interaction to the players, so you can't even do much with them. There's no morale to the team, so you can't see the players happy or sad, which of course can determine how good they play. If a player is in good form and they're also good morale, therefore their stats may have a boost, but if it's in poor form and poor morale, therefore their stats may have a decrease. Determining how good or bad you play dictates how good the players play, which I think makes sense for a game, but I don't know why it's not really in. The potential system for me is really weird, like the fact that you can buy a player and not really use them and they still get to the same rating, even though, let's say, in 2 different saves they have 2 completely different careers, but yet still do same kind of rating, is backwards in my eyes. It should be minimum. There's a few other things, but I don't want to bore you about that because I feel like whatever I say as an idea, EA won't do. I think staff and training and minimum potential should be the top 3 most important things that EA should implement. Of course, this is the schedule, so we will be finding out about brand new career mode and Pro Clubs details, but knowing EA, they may just delay it because they don't actually have anything to kind of us with. I will keep you up to date every week about FIFA 20, so make sure to like and subscribe, and please do tell me down below in the comments your thoughts about this. I really hope that career mode gets a big boost because I feel like it could be a fantastic game mode. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Vizeh. I'll see you next time. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire.